YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I'm bringing you guys episode 7 of the Road to Regionals St. Louis series, where I learned the VGC 2017 format, compete on the championship ladder Battlespot, and ultimately fly my way to St. Louis, Missouri, and compete in the St. Louis Regional Tournament, championships, whatever the heck it's called, and I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We've done, what is that, 13 matches so far, 9-4, not too shabby. Again, this is for fun, and we're learning, and it has been a blast. We had some great guests on the last few days. Alex Igluza, Aaron Cybertron Zhang, and the last year's champion, Wolf Glick, have been featured on the series, and hoping to have them on again soon. I hope you guys enjoyed them. As always, if you have any suggestions for people you'd like to see featured on the series, or joining me, let me know. I don't know everyone in the community, but I have extended my reach to many players, whether they're big or small or whatever. If they've done well in the past in VGC, I could probably learn from them, so I've reached out to a lot of people. But we've got a brand new spanking team today, which I'm very excited about. I'm gonna do a quick team rundown, and then we're gonna jump into some matches here. So I'll try to talk relatively quickly so we can get through the whole team. A real quick question today: what is your favorite electric type Pokemon? You can let me know that in the description below, or a comment section below. I am digging Vikavolt, and you can see we have a shiny Vikavolt on our squad, which is so awesome. It is legit, of course, and I'm very excited about it. I caught it. I've caught like 7 shiny Grubbins in their evolved forms. Finally caught the one I wanted to train up for this team. So let's break down the team really quickly. And of course, as always, if you enjoy this series, show your love on that like button down below, because it actually makes a huge difference and really helps out the channel. So same exact Porygon2 as last time. I debated on dropping Thunderbolt for Tri-Attack, but I really like having Thunderbolt on there. I think it's pretty valuable. Even with the other electric Pokemon, I think it's still pretty valuable. We've got our Flash Drive here, which is our Tapu Koko. I don't have Hidden Power Ice, but I am running Grass Knot for Gastrodon, because I always have such a hard time against Gastrodon, and it could really pick up some surprise KOs. Dazzling and Thunderbolt, Protect, pretty standard. A lot of times people run Discharge, or they'll run like Volt Switch even, I've seen, but HP Ice is pretty standard, I would say. Tapu Fini, of course. Moonblast, Muddy Water, Protect, Calm Mind. Mine is a bold nature. A lot of people run like Modest, Specs Fini. You see some other kind of bulkier variants with Calm Mind, but I went actually pretty much max defense, max HP, and Calm Mind. So hopefully we can get some Calm Minds up and put in some work, because Muddy Water is really cool. It's got, I think, a 30% chance to drop the accuracy, and when it hits both Pokemon, it can be pretty effective. We got my man Marowak here. This is a minus speed, min speed nature Marowak here with the thick club. Very offensive, very offensive. Boomerang, Shadow Bone, Flare Blitz, Protect. Garchomp here. It's Sand Veil. It should be Rough Skin. I actually built this Garchomp with the intention of pairing it with a Gigalith, which I have, and I may integrate into this team at some point. We may tweak this team as we go, but we've got the Groundium Z to hit that Earthquake, which is really cool. Instead of having a spread Earthquake, you can target that one thing and hit really hard. Poison Jab for the Tapus, a Dragon Claw, of course, and the Poison Jab also helps, because I do have a little bit of a hard time against Bulu with this team. And then we've got Vikavolt here, shiny Vikavolt with the Iapapa Berry, which does increase our health, kind of like how Muck works with Figgy, but it only works 25%, so definitely a bummer there. But either way, Thunderbolt, Bug Buzz, Protect, and String Shot is some really cool tech that I really liked. I can't remember the guy's name, so I do apologize. It's been a while since I saw this set. In fact, I might be able to pull it up on my phone, but it'll probably take too long. But String Shot's really cool, because it's actually a spread move. It hits both targets and drops their speed by 2 stages, and can make a big difference. It's almost like kind of an alter Trick Room in a way that makes my Pokemon faster than theirs. It could be really cool tech. And yeah, so our team, I wanted to build a team that can function under Trick Room with P2 and even Fini, because I don't have much speed in Fini, and Marowak and Vikavolt, but I also wanted to function outside of Trick Room with Koko and Garchomp and things like that. So I thought that was kind of cool, and the Levitate here really pairs nicely with Garchomp's Earthquake, so I think we can make that work. I haven't had much luck testing this team on Showdown. I've only played a handful of matches, but I'm hoping I will get better with it as we go. So let me get all connected here. We're gonna jump into our first match and have some fun. Let's do it. All right, guys, so we're gonna connect right now to a championships battle here and jump back into things. I just came back from a little short vacation, so I haven't actually played in a while here, so I am definitely rusty. I have actually played, like, I just sat at my computer for the first time in like 5 days, so definitely pretty rusty here, but we're gonna try to have some fun, get some good matches, hopefully pick up some W's. Let's pick a cool song here. We are 9-4. Let's throw down with the Elite Four music, because you gotta love the Elite Four music. But we're 1591, potentially bumping our way up to the 1600s. We got someone from Japan here, and they are in the 1600s. And let's see what their team is gonna be. They got Lele, Koko, Arcanine, Ninetales, and Garchomp. This is a very tough team, and Garchomp, this guy's bringing the offense. I really want to get up my Trick Room against him because he's just got so many offensive threats. It's gonna be really hard for me to work around that. So I'm gonna bring my Porygon2, and I also want to bring my Marowak. I think those are both really good Pokemon to bring in this matchup because even with the Intimidate from the Arcanine, I can make that work. So I know I'm leading Porygon2, but what is the second Pokemon I'm gonna lead with? Because I feel that there's a good chance that he does bring that Ninetales, which could be pretty scary, but I also want to influence the terrain, and I think Fini could be pretty effective as well. So let's lead Fini, let's bring Marowak in the back, and then in terms of other Pokemon, this is where it would be really nice to have HP Ice on my Vikavolt, which I do not have, so that makes that Garchomp a little bit more of a threat. Vikavolt can do some work, but really not as much as I would like. I'm debating on Garchomp in the back because even under Trick Room, it's faster than a couple of other things, and its Tectonic Rage could really put a hurt on the Arcanine, but that Ninetales does scare me a little bit. The Ninetales does scare me. I just don't see Koko doing a ton. I mean, no, I don't see Koko doing a ton. Vikavolt is cool and all, but again, I'm not really seeing Vikavolt being that effective in this matchup. So I think I'm gonna go Garchomp. So we're gonna kind of go Trick Room, kind of not in this situation. Like Marowak is really effective under the Trick Room, Garchomp not so much, but he's got a few things that are faster than Garchomp. So in Trick Room, Garchomp will be faster than them. So we'll probably try to work with that. Marowak is going to be the key to this match, though. Marowak really can destroy so much of his team. In fact, it actually destroys his entire team under Trick Room. So aside from maybe Garchomp. So we got to get that Garchomp out of the way, which we could possibly do with P2. And we're going to need to get that Marowak a clear path. So he's going to lead Koko Arcanine, which I'm not surprised to see. The Koko is probably going to try to go after my Marowak here. And it's pretty obvious that he's going to try to fire off some sort of an electric type move into my Fini, which really doesn't scare me too much. I could take this opportunity to go into my Marowak, which may be a bit obvious, but it would absorb any hit from that Koko. And my Misty Surge is going to activate here, so at least I have that going for me. But I don't want to allow this Koko to just fire off an attack on me. We do get a special attack raise, which is quite nice. So Trick Room is definitely a priority here. And I don't really think, I mean, the only thing he could do to stop my Trick Room is to roar me out. That would be the struggle, is if he roared me out with Arcanine, which I actually think he's got to have. He's got to have the roar on Arcanine, because he's probably going to try to stop me from setting up Trick Room. So I'm thinking that if I Thunderbolt into the Arcanine, we do get a special attack increase. I could T-Bolt into the Arcanine, and I could probably go into our Garchomp here. And Garchomp might actually be the better play. So let's actually try that. Instead of going to Marowak right off the bat, we can go into Garchomp, potentially take that electric type move, and maybe do some switching. So let's save Fini here. Let's go into our Garchomp. If he goes for a Dazzling Gleam, that's fine. But I think he's going to expect me to go into something else. He does go for the Volt Switch there, which is totally fine. We're going to get a Thunderbolt off into this Arcanine, and based on the fact that he's going last, he did indeed go for Roar. So we do predict that, and we're going to go right into our Tapu Fini again. Now, it's very, very likely that this Koko is going to try to pull some shenanigans right now. So I think I'm just going to go for a straight Protect here with my Fini. Seems pretty safe. And then in terms of things he could switch in here, there's not really anything that wants to take an Earthquake. I could easily fire off an Earthquake here. And even if he wanted to go for like a Dazzling Gleam or something like that, he puts his Koko at risk. And I have a feeling that Koko is going to be like Specs Koko. So I'm really feeling like an Earthquake is pretty solid here. The other option would be to fire off a Tectonic Rage into the Arcanine. But to me, it's very likely that he switches that out. And if he does switch that out, he would probably go into a Garchomp of his own. But I think I want to go Tectonic Rage into the Arcanine. I think that's my best play, because if he protects, I could really hurt him. So maybe Earthquake was the better play here, but he does go for the Protect. So I am going to get a Tectonic Rage off. I don't anticipate a Dazzling Gleam knocking us out here, because I think that Koko might be locked in some way. He could also be like a Zap Plate variant, but he does go for the Volt Switch, and he's going to go into Fini, and that's not going to do anything. And we are going to get our Tectonic Rage off, which is going to put a huge hit into this Arcanine. Even though it protected, it's still gonna hurt, because this is a Garchomp, and Garchomp don't play no games, ladies and gentlemen. Garchomp does not play any games. He is not messing around. So we're gonna fire off a big Tectonic Rage here into this Arcanine. I don't think it's gonna knock him out, because this is seeming to be more of a bulky Arcanine set, if I had to make the guess, but it does not pick up the kill. So very, very close to picking up that knockout, and he does activate a Citrus Berry there. No problemo. We can definitely go into that thing. So what I'm gonna do now is I really want to go Fini Marowak. but then I can't Earthquake, which is the struggle with that play, but it keeps him from Volt Switching with his Koko, which is pretty useful. So I think I'm gonna go Fini Marowak anyway, and then I think I'm gonna actually go for the Poison Jab into the Koko, because it seems like that Arcanine is less of a problem than I think it is, and he's probably gonna just Volt Switch into Fini. So I'm gonna Poison Jab into Koko, and I'm gonna switch out into my Marowak here. He's gonna switch out his Arcanine, which is totally fine by me, and he goes into his own Garchomp. No problemo there, and this is gonna give me an opportunity to get a big Poison Jab off into that Koko slot, which I'm assuming is gonna Volt Switch into the Marowak slot, which is exactly what he does, and we activate our Lightning Rod here, which is pretty nice, and now we're gonna Poison Jab, and I almost went for the Dragon Claw into that Garchomp slot, which is definitely a bummer, but that Poison Jab does a tremendous amount to that Tapu Koko. Now, it seems likely to me that he is gonna be firing off some sort of ground move into Porygon here, or into the Marowak slot. So I'm gonna make another switch into my Porygon, and then I'm actually gonna go for the Protect, I think, with my Garchomp, or do I wanna go for the Dragon Claw into his Garchomp? This is a tough decision here. I could make a double into Fini here, which seems to be actually in a pretty interesting place. So I'm actually gonna do that. All right, so I'm gonna make the double into Fini. So we're gonna switch. This is gonna be very interesting. Marowak into Porygon2 and Garchomp into Fini, and hopefully, actually that's pretty interesting. So this only works if he goes for the Volt Switch into, I don't know. I guess he stayed in with his Tapu, so hopefully he Volt Switches into the Porygon slot here. But we are gonna download and get a boost here. That's a special attack boost, and he does go for the Dazzling Gleam. Oh, so he actually is not locked into anything there, which is very interesting, and we see the Life Orb. So he does a good job of keeping that a secret, and he Dragon Claws into the Fini slot, which works out great for us. We activate our leftovers, and that ends up being a pretty effective turn, if you ask me, because now I got my Trick Room setter on the field, which is very, very cool, and I can set up a Trick Room, which he cannot stop as far as I can tell, and I can simply Protect with my my Tapu Fini, and I don't believe he can knock out Porygon here. The only thing that would really mess me up here, actually, instead of protecting with Fini, I think I'm gonna switch into my Marowak here. Or do I switch to my Garchomp? I think I'm gonna switch into my, do I wanna go into my Garchomp, or do I just simply protect? Because if he doubles into Fini, that's gonna be problematic. I'm gonna just protect Garchomp, Fini. I'm gonna protect Fini and Trick Room, and if he does manage to double into P2, then I won't get my Trick Room up, but I think we can work around that. I think I can get it up though. He's gonna Volt Switch, and he does go into the Porygon, which does take the hit pretty well. Now the question is, will a Tectonic Rage be enough to knock me out if he has it? I'm assuming Arcanine comes in now, but either way, here comes Lele actually. So he does not have the Ninetales or the Kartana, so we know his 4 Pokemon now, and he is gonna switch the terrain up a little bit, and he is gonna go for the Z Tectonic Rage. Yeah, Z Tectonic Rage, and that is gonna likely go into the Porygon2 slot. Whether this will knock me out is gonna be very important, because if we can live this and get a Trick Room up, it is gonna be a huge, huge advantage for us. I don't know if we're gonna live it though, if I'm being totally honest. He does go after the P2. We gotta live this. We gotta live this. We gotta live this. Can we live it? Can we live it? Can we live it? P2, hang in there, buddy, and he does not. So, bit of a misplay there. Had I went in a Marowak instead, it might have been a different scenario there, but it's okay. We're gonna go into our Garchomp now, and the nice thing about Garchomp is I immediately threaten out his own Garchomp and the Lele with my Garchomp. Now, I don't actually threaten him out. He can just stand there and attack me, but at the very least, I can probably do something to him. So I'm gonna just go for the Protect with Garchomp, and I think I'm actually going to Moonblast into his Garchomp and try to do some damage to that thing, and I think he's gonna try to get rid of my Garchomp here. I could be wrong, but I don't have Trick Room to work with anymore, so getting rid of his Garchomp is gonna be pretty nice. I could Muddy Water and go for some drops, but I think I'm gonna just Moonblast into his Garchomp here, because a Dragon Claw from mine won't knock him out, and we're dealing with a speed tie here, and I need to win the speed tie. So he's gonna go for the Psychic and does go into the Garchomp slot, which is very nice, and he Dragon Claws into the Garchomp slot, so that's perfect for us, and I am gonna be able to connect a Moonblast here. And if you noticed that Fini actually went first, letting me know that it is indeed a Choice Scarf Tapu Fini. So We have to keep that in mind now. It is a choice scarf Tapu Fini. So the problem is I can go into Marowak and take the hit. The problem with that is Marowak is going to destroy or get destroyed by Tapu Lele. But then I can hopefully go for a Moonblast into the Garchomp or a Muddy Water and hopefully knock out both, or at least knock out the Garchomp with a Muddy Water. I'm not boosted at all though, that's the problem. I don't think I should keep Garchomp in here because if it takes a Moonblast or a Psychic from the Lele, it dies. So I think I have to go into Marowak here, and then I think I have to actually go for the Muddy Water and hope we knock out the Garchomp and hope we get a accuracy drop on the Lele, because Scarf Lele, very, very scary, outspeeds the entirety of my team, and that's where not getting up that Trick Room is a bit of a bummer. He does go for the Psychic, and he is going to target the Marowak. We are not going to be able to live it at all, which means that if he does go for the Dragon Claw, it doesn't matter, and we are going to go for the Muddy Water. We do connect, it looks like, on both targets here. Hopefully this will knock out the Garchomp. It's neutral, but we'll see here, and it does pick up the kill, and we get the accuracy drop on the Lele, which could actually prove to be a huge difference maker here in this match, because now I've weakened the Lele and dropped its accuracy, and hopefully that'll help us out. The problem is we know he's got that Arcanine in the back, and we know he's got a Koko in the back, and Koko can totally knock out my Fini, so we have to be very careful there. But I can go for a Muddy Water here, potentially knock out the Arcanine, and his big threat right now is definitely the Garchomp. But is he gonna Psychic into the Garchomp here? That is the question. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's not gonna Psychic into the Garchomp, and I'm gonna Poison Jab into the Lele, and I'm going to Muddy Water here. And the reason for this is because if he Psychics into Garchomp anyway, like, I have to get rid of that Lele because it's Scarf. It's gonna outspeed everything, so I gotta get rid of it. And my hope is that he Psychics into Fini here. He could also miss, but if I don't start attacking that Lele, we're gonna lose anyway. So I'm gonna just go for the Muddy Water, should knock out the Arcanine, and Muddy Water plus Poison Jab into Lele may do enough, but he's gonna be faster than me anyway. There's not really a whole lot I can do about this Lele, other than try to get rid of it now when I have an opportunity to with its accuracy drop. And I don't think we're living a Psychic, but he's gonna go for the Protect with the Arcanine, which is actually fine by me, because if he targets the Psychic into, he misses the Psychic, which is huge. We are gonna connect a Poison Jab here. I don't think this is gonna be nearly enough to knock him out, but with Muddy Water damage, it will. Can I hit the Muddy Water? It does look like it's gonna hit the Lele. Oh, we miss on the Lele, which is huge. So he gets some retribution there in the fact that he missed his attack, but we miss ours as well, which is such a bummer. He's got one turn left of Psychic Terrain, so I'm actually thinking of just double protecting here to get rid of that Psychic Terrain, but I also feel like a Calm Mind from Fini could be the key to me winning. So I'm gonna go for the Calm Mind with Tapu Fini because I need to be able to live some hits here, and if I can get rid of that Psychic Terrain, then perhaps Garchomp can actually live the hit. So that's what we're gonna do here. He's gonna go for the Protect with Arcanine again, double Protect. He's gonna Psychic, and he does go into the Garchomp slot, which means I get a free Calm Mind. Now, had I went Muddy Water, I would have knocked out the Lele. Hindsight right there, but that's okay. So now we have a special attack increase, and he loses his boost from the Psychic Terrain, which could be incredibly useful. I'm gonna simply go for a I'm gonna go for, what do I want to do here? I don't want to miss, obviously, so I think I'm gonna Dragon Claw Arcanine and Muddy Water into both, and his Arcanine's probably gonna be faster, but at least we can get rid of them. So he's actually gonna forfeit, so we pick up the W there. He must have thought that he wasn't gonna be able to take out both Pokemon, but my Lele wasn't very fast, so I don't know if he should have forfeited that match, to be perfectly honest, but I will take that win. We're gonna move to 10-4. I don't think that match was over by any means. I'm really surprised that my opponent forfeited there, because even if, like, the Lele wouldn't have knocked out the Garchomp by any means, and then Garchomp would have been able to knock out the Arcanine in theory, and then you would have seen, it would have been Koko versus Garchomp and Lele, and he would have had to go for T-Bolt to kill Lele, and I could have Moonblasted. So actually it might have been over, but That was a little too close. I would have played it out if I was them, but I'll take that win all day. So we pick up our first win, guys. I'm gonna grab one more match here, and let's get another one here. That was actually really fun. That was a good match, and I think we really kind of had to persevere in that one because that was not an easy match for us, especially since I wasn't able to get up my Trick Room, and we are kind of using like a pseudo Trick Room-esque team here. I want to get Vikavolt into this next match, so hopefully this will be a good match for Vikavolt, but looks like we're facing someone from Japan, which is gonna be pretty normal considering the time I record these videos, and he's got a Hail team, so he's got Ninetales, Arcanine, Garchomp, Glaceon, Oranguru, and Drampa. Very interesting team here. Kind of dealing pseudo Trick Room. I really think P2 has a good matchup in this match. I really dig it. Garchomp is a tough one because of his ice type, so I think I gotta have to leave Garchomp out of the equation here. I think Fini's good, even though he might have Freeze Dry. So I like Fini. Whether I want to lead Fini or not is kind of a to be determined situation here. I definitely am bringing Fini though. It's just a matter of whether I want to lead with it. And then in terms of other Pokemon to bring, Garchomp could be useful as a deterrent to allow me to get up my Trick Room, because then I'll be faster than the Arcanine or than the Ninetales. But the Glaceon is still a problem. Marowak could actually be pretty effective in this match in some ways, in other ways not really. Vikavolt, I just don't know if I see Vikavolt doing a ton, but I think I'm gonna bring it anyway. And then otherwise, I mean, I don't really see Koko doing a ton. I think I'm gonna bring Fini, and then I think I'm gonna bring Vikavolt, and then the fourth Pokemon, I feel like that sheer power from Garchomp is gonna be worth having, so I'm gonna rock with that, despite the fact that this is a very strange matchup. I know Garchomp against Ninetales is not ideal, but we'll see how it goes. So, see what they're gonna lead with here. I'm expecting that Hail though, Ninetales, Glaceon type of deal, firing off double blizzards, which is going to be incredibly important that we do get up our Trick Room. So P2 Fini lead here, and we'll see what they're going to do. He is going to lead out Ninetales Oranguru, actually, which means he may try to Trick Room or reverse Trick Room on us. Pretty scary stuff. The good news is Fini could set up its own... let's see if I get this special attack boost. That'd be great. Fini can set up a Calm Mind because Ninetales isn't exactly the strongest Pokemon in the world. We are going to get the download boost and we get an attack boost, which is a bummer. I do want to actually set up Trick Room, but I'm not going to do it yet because I feel like we can live some hits anyway, and I kind of want to T-Bolt into that Ninetales, and I'm going to Calm Mind, actually, with my Fini here, because I don't feel that his Freeze Dry is really going to do that much to me, and I want to break the Sash on the Ninetales. So he actually sets the Aurora Veil up, which is fine by me, so he's really going for the bulk here. So we do have to deal with that for 5 turns. And we're going to get a Calm Mind up here, which is nice, and that makes us a very, very big threat right off the bat, because looking at his team, there's not a whole lot on his team that can really just take down a special Fini, especially if I can get some boosts up. So I went for the Thunderbolt into the Ninetales simply to break its Sash. We do get a really good hit off there. That was a crit. Wasn't too surprised there. And he's got an eject button, switching out his Ninetales into something else. Wow. Didn't expect to see eject button Ninetales, but now I'm very curious to see what this Oranguru is going to do. In comes the Drampa, which is going to negate the effects of the Hail, but what can Drampa do to me? And here comes the Trick Room. So I don't even set the Trick Room myself. He decides to do it. And I think I'm just going to have to fire off Ice Beam plus Moonblast at a Drampa and try to remove that thing as a threat right away. Yeah, I'm trying to think. The worst Drampa can do to me is Energy Ball into my Fini, but I am +1 special defense, so we're sitting pretty bulky here, and we're sitting at full health with that leftover, so I'm thinking I just double into Drampa, Ice Beam plus Moonblast. I don't think it's going to be enough, but it should put a pretty big hurt on him, and really the only thing I can think of that Drampa can do to me is Energy Ball into my Fini, so, or T-Bolt, really, I guess would be the other play. But he's going to Hyper Voice, so that's a pretty effective move. It is a strong move. You're going to see Fini takes that better than P2. He gets a crit on P2. We're going to fire off an Ice Beam here, and that's going to go into the Drampa slot. And again, it doesn't really do a ton, but you never know. And he's going to instruct and go for the double Hyper Voice here, which is fine by me. Not too surprising there. He does go for the double Hyper Voice, and P2 should be able to take it. He crit last time, and it doesn't look like he's going to crit this time. And we are going to connect a Moonblast here. So this is going to be very critical for me to try to get a recover off. We get the Moonblast off, and I get the special attack drop, which is actually a big deal. He's going to get the Berserk, though, and that is scary, guys. That is scary, because this Drampa all of a sudden has an insane attack stat, and I have not a whole lot I can do about it. He's +1 now, whereas before he was minus. So I think what I need to do, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do? I want to double, or I want to recover protect, but if I do that, I think P2 goes down because now Drampa is sitting at, oh no, I'm sorry, he's sitting neutral despite the Berserk because we got the special attack drop. Oh, so Berserk is only +1, okay, so that's good to know. So Hyper Voice could come in here. I think I just need to hope that I can recover with P2, because P2 is going to be slower than the Oranguru anyway, so I will recover before he's able to get that off. And I think I'm going to just protect Fini, maybe? And stall it a turn of Trick Room? How much turns of Trick Room does he have left? I don't want to butcher this play. 3 turns left, so he's got quite a bit of turns of Trick Room left, but he's neutral here, so I think I'm actually better off just getting rid of the Drampa here with a Moonblast into it. So let's do that. If he knocks out my Fini, he knocks out my Fini, but I think we could live. He's gonna switch out his Oranguru, so he loses that Instruct option. He does go into his Glaceon to try to take advantage of the fact that it is hailing out. But even though he's gonna Hyper Voices, I don't think this is gonna knock us out by any means. I don't think any of my Pokemon are gonna go down here. And P2 does live, gets the recover off, which is very nice. And a Moonblast should knock out the Drampa at this point in time. And it's a good thing that I did go on the offensive there, because that Drampa was very, very scary for my team. And we are going to get rid of it, and that's quite nice. So now we know he's got Ninetales left, and we know he's got a Oranguru left, and we've figured out his entire team. So that's quite nice. And we got rid of his Drampa. So he's down to a Oranguru, Ninetales, and Glaceon. So Fini's gonna get some love back there. I am +1 special defense. I don't think a freeze dry from Ninetales can knock me out. He's gonna go into this Oranguru here, and I think he's gonna go for that Instruct and try to really get some big damage off here. I'm thinking I want to recover Porygon2 again, just for the longevity. And then I think I want to keep Fini in, and I think I'm just gonna protect and kind of see what he wants to do. I want to turn out or burn out another turn of this Hail. Even though he could bring it back, he doesn't have that many turns left. And I could simply protect and just kind of stall out a turn here and see what he wants to do. Or I could fire off a Moonblast, but he still has that Aurora Veil up. So I think going for the protect is probably the best play here. Because even if he instructs, like, instruct Blizzard into Porygon, I don't think it's going to knock me out. So this may have been a bad play. Maybe it would have been better to go on the offensive. But I'm gonna just try to get to full here, and I want to see what these Blizzards are gonna do to my my Porygon2 here. He could be like Specs. I mean, if he's like Specs Glaceon, then that's gonna do some damage, and we're gonna see that does a tremendous amount. And he is gonna instruct and basically double into my Porygon here, which is pretty scary. So he does go for the Blizzard into Porygon. It doesn't hit the Fini, but it does hit my Porygon twice. Very scary there. We get hit by Hail. So not exactly the best turn there. Not exactly the best turn, but I'm struggling because I'm dealing with this Hail. I'm dealing with these Hail shenanigans right now, and I need my Trick Room to be effective, but I also don't need Trick Room right now. It's kind of a weird situation to be in. What do we got in the back? So nothing really wants to take a Blizzard here by any means. So I'm thinking what I have to do is I'm thinking I should go for the recover with P2 on the off chance I could live a hit. And then I think I'm going to just simply go for the Moonblast or Muddy Water. I'm going to go for the Muddy Water because I think the accuracy drop could be very, very valuable. I think the accuracy drop could be very, very valuable if we hit it. Although a Moonblast would hit harder. I'm thinking Moonblast into Oranguru would be nice. I'm going to go for the Muddy Water, though. I think hitting both targets and potentially getting an accuracy drop is more valuable here. And I don't think that... I don't think the Double Blizzard may not knock out Fini. He's gonna go for Blizzard here. The first one will be fine. It's a matter of whether the second one will be able to do the damage enough. He's gonna go for the Instruct, and he is gonna get the Double Blizzard off here. But his Trick Room and his Aurora Veil, I do believe, end this turn. So he Double Blizzards. I believe Fini can live, though. I do believe Fini will live. And it lives on 2. I think the Hail ends this turn, so we should be able to live these hits. Muddy Water comes off. We miss the Glaceon, which is probably the most important of the 2 Pokemon for us to hit there. But we do connect with a Muddy Water into the Oranguru, and we don't get any sort of drops or anything like that, but the Hail does stop, which is nice. So now he loses the spammability of his Blizzard at least a little bit, and the Aurora Veil runs out there, and I think the Trick Room ran out as well. So now I'm going to go into my Garchomp here, and I think my best play is actually, this is tough because I need, what do I need to do here to win this game? I believe Trick Room's up now. Yeah, so Trick Room's gone. So what I can do is I can double into Glaceon with Garchomp here. Go for Tectonic Rage into Glaceon. Hold on, let's think about this. If I Tectonic Rage into Glaceon and then Moonblast into Glaceon, we ensure the kill on that thing. And then he has Ninetales and a Rangaroo versus Fini, but Ninetales is gonna be faster than us, so I think getting rid of, we gotta get rid of both, really, is what it comes down to. I need to get rid of that Glaceon, though, so I have to Tectonic Rage into it. So let's do that. We're gonna Tectonic Rage into that thing, and then I think I'm actually gonna Muddy Water here instead of Moonblast, because I think the Muddy Water will do enough to the Glaceon. And if we get rid of the Glaceon this turn, we might be okay, because then Vikavolt can hopefully live a hit from the Ninetales, but the struggle is whether he's able to get up the Instruct again, which is going to be tough. So let's go for the Tectonic Rage here into the Glaceon, see if we'll knock this thing out. I don't know if it's going to knock it out regardless. The Muddy Water is going to be, I think, my best play anyway, but that is actually not going to knock him out, and we do connect the Muddy Water, it looks like, which is great. So we're going to get rid of the Glaceon, which is the biggest threat to my Garchomp there, and we do a tremendous amount to the Oranguru and immediately threaten that thing and put the Oranguru in a tough spot. He goes for Instruct, but it's gonna fail. So that was a good turn, actually. That was a really good turn for us. Now here's an interesting situation. I'm thinking that he's gonna Blizzard with the Ninetales, and the problem with that is it actually would knock out my Fini here. So I gotta think about this for a second. If he Blizzards into Fini, does Fini live a Blizzard at 24 health, first of all? I don't know. I don't think so. But I'm going to protect Garchomp here, because I think the Blizzard's coming either way. And I'm going to Moonblast into the Ninetales and hope it's enough to knock him out if Fini can live the hit. That's going to be my play here. I'm going to protect. And ultimately, I mean, this is, you know, it's going to come down to whether we can live this Blizzard at 24 health here. I mean, we do resist and we are +1 Spadef. Oh, Fini. Fini. Knock him out with his Moonblast, Fini. Oh, this is gonna be beautiful if we get this kill. Oh, we pick up the kill. Wow. Wow, Tapu Fini coming in clutch, and that is gonna seal the deal, guys. Wow. That was a tough match, man. That was a tough match. Dealing with Hail. I've yet to actually, and we're gonna die to Hail there. I've yet to actually have to encounter a Glaceon in a Hail team, and dealing with Aurora Veil and dealing with the Hail and dealing with him being a Trick Room variant, all of that stuff coming together made this a very, very difficult match for us. But Vikavolt's coming in here, and I want Vikavolt to get the last kill, so I'm actually going to simply protect Garchomp here just to give my man Vikavolt the kill. We're gonna Bug Buzz into the Oranguru, and that should call it a day. Just so I can get, oh, he's gonna forfeit anyway, so I don't even get to get the glory there at the end. But we actually have a great episode, man. We go 2-0. That's always a good episode, guys. If we're going 2-0 in an episode on a new team, that makes me a happy dude. So I will take that all day, guys. I hope you enjoy this episode of Road to Regionals. I've been having so much fun, man. This has been great. So we're 11-4 now. That's pretty good for 15 matches. I'll take it. That's about a 70% win ratio. So that's pretty cool with me. If my math is correct there, don't judge me on that. So yeah, I don't want to save a battle video, but that's that, man. If you guys have any suggestions for the team, I am gonna probably tweak this team as I go. I do want to fit that Gigalith onto the team at some point as well, because I do think that that could be really effective. I don't know where to fit it though, because I kind of want to keep Vikavolt, maybe take Koko out. I don't know, but that's that, guys. I hope you enjoyed. My name is Dan. I'll by aDrive, and I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.